If someone would have told me, when I was 25, that I'd be doing this when I was 48, I'd say you're absolutely, completely mistaken and wrong. You got the wrong guy.
I was about 2 years ago in a planning session with Bletchley Park, our partners, and we were looking at this Jack Daniel's story in South Africa and how we could bring Jack Daniel's to life in a locally relevant way. And we were thinking, what if we could tell this very powerful Jack story and give it a little local flavor and nuance.
We've been discussing how to connect with African consumers, principally South African consumers, in a bit more of a culturally relevant way for Jack Daniel's. It's authentically still the Jack Daniel's story. It's just told from the consumer's voice versus our voice. So that's very exciting to me.
I think, always constantly marching forward and wanting to try and have a hunger for new things. And sometimes it gets a little scary because those things are like little jumps, but that's good. That means you're doing something new. But I think the minute you're feeling comfortable or too easy, then it's you're not going forward. It's just like you're rolling out something you've already done before. So that's something I try to avoid.
Every job you go into is like a new battle. It's a war that you go into, and the better tools that you have, the better equipment, the better gear that you go in with, and that's not just a physical thing. It's how you prepare yourself mentally for it, and it's kind of homework, and becoming very familiar with the director's mindset and the story and the brand. So it's kind of just it's all connected.
We find consumers around the world a lot of times crave authenticity, things that are real. It's such in some ways, a phony world, even reality TV and some of these things that are going on right now. As we find the younger consumers in particular that are, I just call it craving what's real.
When we stumbled across this idea about 2 years ago, Bletchley Park and our client were extremely excited. What we had to do was find its true potential. And how we did that was collaborating with our local clients and our overseas clients to make sure that the story that we told was truly authentic. Because it's a powerful story. It's one of a man that lived 103 years ago. But his story is still told today. So we had to make sure that it was authentic and true.
The most difficult thing, I think, as any young person, is to be somewhat taken seriously and to show the old guard that you're a smart person, you're capable, that there's new ideas. It's an ever-changing world, and you always have to be open to change, embrace change. But I find sometimes that not everybody always agrees with that and likes to see things stay the same, where you've got to always be moving forward, I believe.
I'm really honored to be part of the brand team and be part of the history of this, probably the best brand in the world, frankly.
This story starts in 1866, Lynchburg, Tennessee. After establishing what would become America's oldest registered distillery, Jack Daniel became
famous. He went from humble Tennessee bars to the dressing tables of the biggest names in the business. Even Frank Sinatra was buried with the square bottle.
Others said round bottles are easier to make. Jack said, we're not like everyone else. We make old numbers.
7 might have been his lucky number, but luck had nothing to do with it.
He did things his way, the best way he knew how. What's your story? Make it worth telling.